The Davison Figueroa victory against Tim Elliott, honestly, it was pretty fast. Tim Elliott was throwing a lot of combinations, but in the end, Tim Elliott was going through the scrambles and caught him with a guillotine choke. So, again, Davison won the fight, and he called out, which was interesting. He won Henry Cejudo, but Henry Cejudo wants to stay in the bantamweight division, and he's also out for injury, so he's not going to fight till next year. So, the good call out he said was he wanted Joseph Benavidez for the interim title in the flyweight division, which is hard to argue with the performance that he did do. Yeah, let's talk about the performance that Marlon Vera just put on tonight. Honestly, it was amazing. He was from head to toe, transitioning and going for the head and arm choke while standing up was very dangerous. And he was able to finish the fights, and as you can see, he was able to take him down and just automatically transition to the elbows. And Marlon Vera is being a problem right now in the bantamweight division. That's 5 straight finishes in a row. So people got to be careful with Marlon Vera. Again, you got to see the highlights. He was doing a lot of heavy leg kicks. He was doing a lot of jabs. He was setting up a lot of combinations, throwing a lot of knees. He was doing everything. And every time he was going and having a little scramble, that's when he was going for the head and arm choke while standing up. He went for that multiple times. And again, I see this Marlon Vera growing, so he's going to be a future problem. Bruh. Let's talk about this Mike Davis against Thomas Gifford fight. Honestly, let's not take nothing away from Mike Davis. His head movement was phenomenal. His striking was good. His cardio was awesome. But let's talk about the most important thing about Thomas Gifford and his well-being. Honestly, I feel like he was eating a lot of more shots that he wasn't supposed to be eating. A lot of people are at fault at this. More than one person, the referee, his cornerman, his father. Everybody could have stopped the fight, but they didn't stop the fight. The way that he was finished in the 3rd round, it wasn't supposed to finish like that. I feel like this fight was supposed to be finished since the ending of the 1st round or around the mid-range of the 2nd round. But this fight should have not been carried that long, because not only that, it's scary because when you see, compared to the boxing, that recently 2 people passed away because of so much strikes and blows to the head, this is not good. So I see this very controversial, especially coming from the referee and, again, his coaches and his father. All right, let's talk about the Pena and the Frevola fight. Honestly, I felt like the judges made the right decision in picking Frevola and winning, because Pena did look like he was closer to finishing the fight when it came to the 2nd round, but in the 1st round, you got to give it to Frevola. He was doing a lot more slams. He was doing a lot more takedowns. And Pena wasn't really doing nothing until the ending of the 1st round. All he was doing on the ground, he was defending himself with a lock that wasn't really putting Frevola in danger. So Frevola hands down the 1st round. 2nd round, hands down Pena. And then the 3rd round, it was kind of close. It could have gone either way. Well, personally, it could have not gone either way. I feel like, again, the octagon control. Frevola was actually controlling the pace, and he was actually coming forward. So that's how you were supposed to fight against Pena, being that Pena has more of the reach, meaning the fact that he's 6'3" and he's a lightweight. So congratulations to Frevola. Talk about the James Vick and Nico Price fight. Honestly, James Vick needs to retire. He needs to hang up his gloves. This is another dramatic loss, and he's suffered another concussion, and very hard, bad concussion with an up kick, heel directly to his chin. And that I feel him jumping up to weight was more bad on the fact that he had an advantage that he was way more taller than a lot of those people in his weight division. But now that he moved up, he was fighting people that have a similar body stature to him, so he wasn't used to that. And he was getting overwhelmed by that. So I felt like, yeah, he needs to hang up those gloves for sure. Bruh, let's talk about the durability that Cub Swanson and Kron Gracie both had. Honestly, I didn't see Kron Gracie actually coming forward like that. He had a lot of similarities when it came to his striking, like Hoist Gracie in UFC 1 and like Nate Diaz. You can see a lot of similarities in the heart and him taking all the strikes and still being able to come forward. Not only that, his striking was doing good, his chin was also doing good. I don't know if it has to play part with his him being a part of triathlons with Nate Diaz, because they were saying a lot of your durability. And a lot of people that join triathlons, they ask your durability. It actually helps a lot to build the chin. That's what people say. And not only that, I see that very interesting. But hands down, Cub Swanson did good on his footwork. Principally, his footwork. He was cutting corners off real fast, and his body punches. He was keeping Crown Gracie was keeping his hands very high, similar to how Nate Diaz does, and puts a lot of weight on his front leg, which I was surprised to not see Cub Swanson throwing as much leg kicks. But I understand that he was relying more on his boxing, on the fact that Crown Gracie is dangerous if he was to miss a kick and be sustainable to a takedown. But hands down, Crown Gracie does have my respect, because even though you lost, but to be coming forward and be having a pace like that on a person like Cub Swanson, a vet like that, and being able to have the durability and be able to last and be able to be a warrior and try to finish the fight, hands down, both of them have the credit. And let's talk about the Joanna card against Michelle Waterson. Honestly, it played out pretty much how I seen it playing out. Joanna was way too much for Michelle Waterson on the aspect that it was too much volume, whether it was on the reach or in the clinch, that she was way more powerful. A lot of the leg kicks also was played a huge role on the fact that she was on Joanna's back trying to get a guillotine, and you could tell she had problems holding those hooks in because the damage to her leg. But nonetheless, Michelle Waterson did do good. But now the question is, Joanna against Zhang, how is it going to play out? Because I feel like in that clinch, if they were similar, Zhang is going to be the more powerful fighter. So she ain't going to be able to control her how she was controlling Michelle Waterson. So she's going to have to fight on that outside. But nonetheless, Michelle Waterson showed heart, and Joanna showed that she's an animal. And she has the cardio and the gas tank of unlike any person I've ever seen. But her against Zhang is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let's see how it plays out, because Zhang is a different type of strawweight we've never seen before. If you like these breakdowns, make sure you look at the other videos that I have, and subscribe now to our MMA 420 YouTube channel, now on Instagram at _MMA 420 _. And can't forget, opinions always up for discussion, so don't talk shit.